me begin with this quote by Ayn Rand in her book, Atlas Shrugged. She said, quote, "When you see that trading is done not by consent but by compulsion, when you see that in order to produce you need to obtain permission from men who produce nothing, when you see money flowing to those who deal not in goods but in favors, when you see that men get richer by graft and pull than by work, and your laws don't protect you against them but protect them against you, when you see corruption being rewarded and honesty becoming self-sacrifice, you may know that your society is doomed." Ladies and gentlemen, I believe that the American people and their every action are being ruled, regulated, restricted, licensed, registered, directed, checked, inspected, measured, numbered, counted, rated, stamped, censored, authorized, admonished, refused, prevented, drilled, indoctrinated, monopolized, extorted, robbed, hoaxed, fined, harassed, disarmed, dishonored, fleeced, exploited, assessed, and taxed to the point of suffocation and desperation. You all know that something is very wrong in America. Every day, government at all levels grows more out of control, more intrusive in our personal lives, more of a threat to private property, all in total and flagrant disregard of the expressed will of the electorate. The fact is, Americans have grown to fear our own government. Life is getting harder. There is less optimism about the future. The once prominent phrase, American dream, seems to have been dropped from our vocabulary. The reason? America is going through what Al Gore called a wrenching transformation of society. What kind of transformation? What has changed? Where does that transformation originate? How does it directly affect our daily life? The old structure of what was once the United States of America is being replaced with a new political and economic order that is drastically changing the very underpinnings of our nation. It's being done quietly, behind the scenes, without debates, without votes, and with no official announcement. Yet, this new ruling authority has become the official policy of the federal government and every state government, and it's moving into nearly every city and town and county in the nation. The ruling authority is called sustainable development, and its blueprint for transforming human existence is fully outlined in a UN document called Agenda 21. I've had 18 years of experience studying every aspect of sustainable development in Agenda 21, and I have learned that it is an absolute threat to everything free Americans hold dear. Thus, the partnership between corporations and government is done at the expense of ordinary people, the exact opposite effect of free markets controlled by consumers. This is the new way business is being run in America under sustainable development. The business plan for the day: lobby for regulations. They argue it's good for the economy, creating jobs by destroying things from the past, that it's good for the economy to enforce regulations to make people buy things they didn't need before. It's certainly not free enterprise or open markets. The true description is government-sanctioned monopolies right out of the Mussolini fascist playbook. And the third E, ecological integrity. Well, that's just the excuse for it all. Sustainable policy interprets any action man takes as a direct threat to the environment. Sustainabilists contend that humans only defile nature. And only a strong, central, all-powerful government, probably the UN, can protect the environment. Individuals and limited governments can't be trusted because man is nothing more than a swarm of locusts which swoops down on nature and sucks it clean until there's nothing left. Nothing good comes from man, according to sustainabilist doctrine. It's a real shame that these people never read history, because they would find what a strong central government does to the economy. All they had to do was look at the Soviet Union, which had the worst environment in the world. He said, quote, "It is not enough to preserve the roadless, undeveloped country remaining. We must recreate wilderness in large regions, move out the cars and civilized people, dismantle the roads and dams, reclaim the plowed lands and clear cuts, and reintroduce extirpated species." That's basically your front page of the newspaper today and every policy that's coming out of City Council and the County Commission. Destruction of human civilization was Dave Foreman's plan. In reality, the Wildlands Project is a diabolical plan to herd people off the rural lands and into human settlements. You see, Dave Foreman's dream, all the red, no human activity. If you can barely see green, well, that's where you can live. And megacities in certain parts around the country. That is his nightmare. Thomas Lovejoy, the science advisor to the Federal Department of Interior, said, "We will map the whole nation, determine development for the whole country, and regulate it." And your local elected officials are helping to implement this insanity, yet they are quick to deny that such ideas have their origins on the international level, and they accuse me of wearing a tinfoil hat and hearing voices. Well, here's a voice I hear. Again, Maurice Strong said at the Earth Summit, quote, "Isn't the only hope for the planet that the industrialized nations collapse? Isn't it our responsibility to bring that about? How does an industrialized nation survive when all the land and all the resources are locked away?" And that is the true agenda that we face. But how do you remove people from the land? Well, there's many tools in place to stop human activity and grow the wilderness. Deny grazing and water rights on public lands. It becomes more difficult and more expensive to run the farm or the ranch, and eventually it goes out of business. Lock away natural resources by creating more national parks. It shuts down the mind. Let me ask you this. Would your elected officials admit to enforcing communism in your community? No. Then why are they so eager to be in partnership with an organization which does? The United States is not a global village run by elders who hand down the rules from on high. We are a nation of individuals whose rights are supposed to be protected and guaranteed by the representatives that we elect. We demand accountability from them. However, global forces which do not accept the unique American form of government sneak behind the curtain, avoiding controversy and honest debate. The only possible result can be the tyranny over a powerless electorate stripped of their rights, their property, and their self-determination. Global warming has been the excuse for the hysteria, but true science is now showing this to be the greatest hoax ever perpetrated on humankind. But a word of warning, they've all taken a vital first step in ending Agenda 21 in their community, but it is only a first step. They have just fired a shot across their bow. There's much more work to do now to get rid of these policies and make sure they don't crop up somewhere else. The other one makes it mandatory that any federal, state, or local government representative must get the written permission of the property owner before they can step foot on that land. On January 13th of this new year, the Republican National Committee unanimously passed a resolution entitled Exposing United Nations Agenda 21. Revolution against the sustainable development is taking place in every corner of this nation.